I'm wearing these cute glittery earrings that somebody had sent to my P.O. box. Thank you so much. So this guy's name is Manuel and he is a truck driver in Mexico. He says that the job is hard, it comes with a lot of responsibility, but that the pay is worth it. He also says that his job could be a little dangerous because sometimes he has to go through these streets and curves and hills. He has to be very, very careful. So on this particular night, he had been driving for a very long time and he was in between Tamaulipas and San Luis Potosí. The streets were like in between hills and mountains and it was very dangerous, and to top it all off, it started raining. He admits that when this happened, he was still like fresh. He hadn't had that much experience, so being that it was night, it was raining, he was driving between hills and curves, he got really nervous and a little bit scared. He was also very tired and sleepy. Again, he had been driving for a long time and he knew that he was gonna have to stop somewhere just to get like at least an hour of sleep. He knew that the next truck stop was way too far away. He needed to get sleep because there's no way he was gonna make it there. He made the decision to find a spot where he can just put his truck on the side of the road and get some sleep. He ended up parking his trailer right next to this big hill and it was like in a patch of forest, so he thought it'd be fine. But before he went back into that little cabin to go to sleep, he really had to go to the restroom. He turns his truck off, gets an umbrella, and walks towards the foresty part. On his way back to his truck after relieving himself, he noticed that the passenger side door was open and that on the step of how to climb onto that truck, there was footmarks but of a lot of mud. When he left this truck, he knew that both of the doors were closed, so there's no way that that door would have just opened on its own. So now he's terrified that somebody had climbed into his truck. He was really scared, but he started opening the passenger side door more and more, and when he did, he pushed the flashlight into the cabin and asked, "Who's there? Whoever's in here, you need to get out right now." But there was no response. Since he didn't hear anybody, he decided to slowly open up those curtains that lead you to the back cabin where they go to sleep. And before he could open them all the way, he heard a male voice crying and saying, "Save her. Please save her." He said that as soon as he heard that, he just pushed the curtain to the side and there was nobody in there. He was so confused of how nobody was in the cabin because he clearly heard that voice coming from back there. He started getting really scared, and that's also when he noticed something on his bed. There was a baby carrier, really dirty, really old, on the corner of that bed that he didn't have with him. Like, there's no way that could have just appeared out of nowhere. That baby carrier was also broken in some parts, and he said that he just grabbed it and just threw it out of his truck. He had a really bad feeling. He's like, I couldn't stay there. He literally turned on his truck and he decided that he was not gonna go to sleep. He was really nervous about what just happened to him, and also he was really tired. He hadn't been asleep for 20 hours. When he was finally starting to move that trailer to get the hell out of there, he hit something. He reversed the trailer a little bit and got out of it just to see what he had just hit. When he finally managed to see what he had just hit, he realized that there were 3 crosses made out of concrete, and he managed to break 2 of them with the trailer. When he started reading the crosses, he noticed that all 3 of them had said, "Rest in peace, Familia Peña." When he got a closer look, there was one of them that had a picture where it was a woman, a man, and a little baby. It was very obvious that this family maybe had a bad accident there and passed away. Everything that he had just experienced kind of made sense in that moment, and he could swear that the male voice that was crying and saying "save her" was probably of the father who had lost his life with his family, and that it was probably the poor dad who was asking him to save his child. He admits that he started crying in that moment where everything made sense, and it was because he himself was about to be a first-time dad. His wife was back home pregnant. He just can't imagine the amount of pain that the poor father is going through, that even after he has passed, he was still trying to save his family, his baby. He said that this incident, this story that he now shares with everybody, has marked him forever. But what do you guys think?